Good morning. This is video journal number 8. The first question is, what is copyright infringement? Copyright infringement is when someone uses your work without your permission. But before it can be infringement, you have to make sure that your work is protected under copyright law, which means you have to have your work registered and filed correctly within the Copyright Office. Infringement also includes violating certain exclusive rights that belong to the copyright owner, such as reproducing copywritten material, distributing that copywritten material for sale, or by displaying the copywritten work of someone else without their permission or without, paying a copyright fee or a licensing fee in order to use that specific work. Number 2, when should you apply for copyright registration and why? Well, you should register your work if you ever intend to enforce any infringement violations. So if you ever feel that you may need to sue someone in the future, you should have a copyright registration. You should register your work if you think that one day you may have to go and seek damages against an infringer. If you have a registration, you can receive statutory damages and attorney fees. If you ever have to go after an infringer, you just have all of your rights protected within the copyright registration. Without a registration and you sue someone for infringement, you cannot get your statutory damages. You will only be able to get an award for what you can actually prove, which can be very difficult without a copyright registration. With a copyright registration, you can get up to $150,000 in damages along with the attorney fees, and the attorney fees are going to cover, the infringer having to pay for your fees for your attorney, which is always good. So you want to have one to protect yourself. It's very important if you do any kind of work so that you can be in a position to collect damages if you ever have to sue someone. Question number 3. What are the remedies you can be awarded if you are successful and win or prove infringement in a court of law? A remedy is what the plaintiff wins, whether it's damages, attorney fees, or an injunction relief. Those are 3 of them. Damages is the amount that you can prove that you were damaged. In copyright law, I've heard 2 figures. One is 150, but I also heard a figure of $250,000. And then, of course, an injunction relief, which is when the court will send an order to the defendant directly from the court telling the infringer to quit infringing upon your rights. And if that infringer ignores this, then, they can be sued again for the exact same amount, for the exact same thing, again, if they ignore this order from the court. So the 3 things you can be awarded are damages, attorney fees, and injunctive relief. Those are your remedies that are available if you win. Question number 4. If someone is using your copywritten work, what process should you follow to stop the infringement? Well, you must take that infringer to federal court. Number 1, you can't call the Copyright Office. You can't call the governor. You can't call somebody and say stop. You could call them, the infringer, and tell them to stop. But if they ignore you, what are you going to do? You can't go beat them up. Then you're going to be up on charges for assault and battery. So you must take the infringer to federal court. That's the only way to get them to legally stop. Usually it's a pretty expensive and long process. But if you have your work registered, then you should be able to find an attorney who will be willing to take the case based upon maybe a contingent fee, which means that the attorney will take a percentage of the damages or awards that the court gives you in place of the fee. And that's kind of a pro bono way that they work on it, allowing you not to have to pay any fees up front. And then them knowing that your work is registered, they know the chances that they have of you winning. And so usually they'll take that case. And again, that means that your work is registered properly in the Copyright Office. Question number 5. What are the 2 ways that you can prove infringement? Well, the first way to prove infringement is to get the infringer to admit that they did it, which is called direct evidence of copying. However, it's fairly difficult for someone probably to just say, hey, yeah, I did it. Most of the time they're going to say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So that's the first way. Get them to say that you did it or that they did it, which is direct evidence of copying. The second way is through a legal test. And there's a test that proves that they did it, and but it's through the court. But this second way shows that the infringer had some type of access to your work, and the work in question by the infringer is very like your own work. And as long as the work of the infringer is similar to yours, along with them having access and you proving that they had access to your work, then the judge should be able to rule in your favor. And there is a test that will be able to prove similarities, that the judge will be able to look at it and the court will be able to conduct a test and make sure that it is similar. And the other thing in that process, though, is proving that they had access to your work. Number 6, what is a contributory infringer? A contributory infringer is not the original infringer. They're not the first person who infringed. However, this contributory infringer has knowledge of the infringement, and they may even have, coerced someone into infringing, or they may have actually helped contribute to the infringing process. And of course, this person can be sued as well. Although they are not the original infringer, they did benefit somehow, whether they collected monies, whether they were a third party to, a partner of, or gave suggestions on how to do it. But usually this contributory infringer gets some type of benefits, so they can be sued as well. Question number 7. What is the purpose of a demand letter? A demand letter is also known as a cease and desist letter. Now, usually a demand letter makes a demand for a fee. And this demand letter, usually you will get one and it'll show and tell you, hey, you have committed an infringement upon some body of work. Inside the letter, you are told you can keep using the material or the work, but you got to pay a fee in order to continue using it. And usually that fee can be thousands of dollars. Or the letter might say, you can stop using the infringed work if you want to, but you still have to pay a fee because you have already used the copywritten work. So either way, you're going to have to pay a fee, or at least they're demanding that you pay a fee, when you get that demand letter. And usually they send a demand letter once they know that they have their work registered and they know they have you over a barrel and they've got you there. But there's usually that demand letter is saying, hey, you need to pay me for using my work, and you need to stop or you can continue on. But either way, it's a fee. Number 8, what should you do if you receive a demand letter? Well, if you receive a demand letter, you definitely should not ignore the demand letter, because they will probably sue you in court, and more than likely you'll lose, because more than likely their work is registered and you'll be in a huge hole. Now, you can respond and pay the fee and to the copywritten or the copyright producer, and you can pay what they're demanding, or you can respond and say you are not the party responsible for infringement, but you need to inform them who is the party that's responsible for infringement and where you obtained the works from. And then they may reduce the fee, or they may even let you off the hook since you've directed them directly to the infringer. Or you may have to get an attorney and ask that attorney to represent you or give you the best legal advice possible. But regardless, you are over a barrel once you get that demand letter. But the worst thing you can do is to do nothing. But you should respond for sure, and at least start some dialogue so you'll know if you need to pay a fee or if you need to get an attorney. Question number 9, how can you avoid becoming an infringer? Well, the best way to avoid being an infringer is you should know who the original author is or the copyright owner is of any material that you're willing to use. And what you'll want to do is get that person's permission to use their material, even if they charge you. Get it up front before you do it, because that can be negotiated, or you can decide that you'll move in another direction if the fee is too high. If they make you pay a fee, that's fine, but get their permission to do it. Paying a small fee to license an image is much better than being sued by someone in federal court, especially if they already have a copywritten registration. And once you've already used it, you're over the barrel. So the key is to just be careful about using works that don't belong to you. And if you use works that don't belong to you, know who the copyright author is and get their permission to use it. So just be smart about what you're using. And that should keep you from becoming an infringer. And those are the 9 questions to our video journal. Thank you for listening, Miss Amy. Wow, that's 10 minutes. It's crazy.